What's up YouTube, Ace Trainer Luke here, and today we are debuting my first team for Pokemon Video Game Championships Regulation H. As always when I post VGC content, I want my teams to be fun and original, and usually feature at least a few Pokemon that you don't see every day. This team is no exception, as I'm breaking out Porygon-Z and Conkeldurr. I'm going to do a quick breakdown of the team for those interested, but if you want to skip straight to the battles, feel free to do so using the timestamps below. To take you through the team, let's start with a duo of Porygon-Z and Clefable. Back in the Sword and Shield era of competitive Pokemon, there was a time when the duo of Porygon-Z and Clefairy was a very threatening and popular combination. The idea behind that particular duo was you would often lead Porygon-Z next to Clefairy, Dynamax your Porygon-Z, and go for huge Helping Hand max strikes to just obliterate opposing Pokemon. Clefairy was a good partner for this because despite being extremely powerful, one of Porygon-Z's flaws is it is extremely frail. So, Clefairy could redirect attacks away using Follow Me, and or provide Porygon-Z with some more defensive backbone using the ability Friend Guard. The idea behind Porygon-Z and Clefable on this team is similar, but I've made some changes to cater their current format a little bit. Unaware is a great ability on Clefable, as this format has a lot of setup Pokemon. A good example of this is the Kingambit sets that run Kowtow, Cleave, Sucker Punch, Swords Dance, and Protect. No matter how many Swords Dances Kingambit sets up, Clefable won't be affected by its boost. And since a lot of Kingambits now drop Iron Head, it can't actually hit Clefable for anything but resisted damage. So Clefable effectively walls it in those scenarios. Additionally, Clefable commands a little bit more of an offensive presence than Clefairy. Since the power level of this format is lower, this is actually relevant, as even a defensive Clefable can hit some Pokemon for decent damage with Moonblast. Obviously, using Clefable instead of Clefairy exposes Porygon-Z's lack of bulk a bit more, but again, since the power level of this format is lower, I'm able to invest just a little bit of bulk on PZ and live most attacks that I would like to survive. Using a Choice Scarf allows me to outspeed everything in the format, except for other faster Choice Scarf Pokemon, and between Terra Blast, Ice Beam, and Thunderbolt, I'm able to hit most of the type chart for super effective damage. Since I'm using a lot of coverage moves on the set, I'm opting for download instead of analytic. Using this ability is a bit more inconsistent, but the reality is you're going to get a special attack boost so often, and when you do, you're probably going to be able to threaten an OHKO on something with at least one of your coverage moves. Moving on to the rest of the team, we have a Fire Water Grass core of Incineroar, Gastrodon, and Sinistcha. Sinistcha fits really nicely on this team because it's able to switch in and be immune to the fighting type attacks that both Porygon-Z and Incineroar are weak to. Additionally, it's able to support with redirection and set up Trick Room, making it a valuable piece to the team. This is an extremely bulky set with a Pinch Berry and Matcha Gotcha as its only attacking move to maximize its longevity. I knew I wanted a water type on this team, but I tested a lot of different mons before settling on Gastrodon. Originally, I wanted a water type with a bit more offensive presence, but in testing, I found that a water type that could be used defensively against opposing rain teams was more useful. With Storm Drain and its ground typing, Gastrodon is really good against leads like Pelipper plus Chaludon, or Pelipper plus Basculegion, for example. There isn't a lot to say anymore about Incineroar. It kind of is just really good at what it does, and this set is no different. The only thing I would point out is an Assault Vest with U-Turn is a bit less common in the sets that run Safety Goggles with Parting Shot. I like the AV option better because Parting Shot does feel really predictable, and I was having problems with opponents reading me and switching into Defiant Pokemon like Annihilate or Kingambit. Additionally, you end up taking attacks that you want to switch into better. Examples are Typhlosion Eruption or Golden Go Make It Rain. With the Assault Vest, you can soak up these attacks that normally punch holes in teams, and then later recover off the damage via Hospitality from Sinistcha. Another benefit of U-Turn is it is really good at breaking Focus Sashes, which is a really common item in the format right now. U-Turn is also good at providing chip damage that may matter for a damage roll later on in the game. In the last slot, I wanted a true Trick Room sweeper for games when I wanted to angle towards Trick Room as a form of speed control. My requirements for the slot were a Pokemon that undersped both Ursaluna forms and would be immune to Spore from Amoonguss. The reason these were my requirements is both Ursaluna and Amoonguss are two common Pokemon that are used to disrupt opposing Trick Room strategies. Ursaluna because it's a Trick Room sweeper in itself, and Amoonguss, which is slower than most of the format, can immediately just put your sweeper to sleep. I admittedly did not find a perfect answer to this, but eventually slotted in Conkeldurr. It does underspeed both Ursalunas and additionally can threaten both of them with knockouts via close combat. It is not truly immune to Spore, but does have the Guts ability and is holding a Flame Orb. This means once my Flame Orb activates, Conkeldurr will be burned for the rest of the battle and will not be able to be put to sleep. I say that Conkeldurr isn't a perfect answer because I do feel like the slot probably has better options, but Conkeldurr did feel relatively strong in testing, and I've never used Conkeldurr before, so I just wanted to. And that's it. That's my first team of Regulation H. If you stuck with me through the entire team breakdown, I really appreciate it. If this channel hits 85 subs and or this video hits 10 likes, I will post a rental code for this team. Also, some of the battles coming up are going to have a post-mortem where I do some analysis and share my thoughts on how the battle went. I don't usually do this when posting VGC content, but I did feel it was relevant because in Regulation H, knowing your damage calculation feels more important than any format I've played before. So, without further ado, let's get started and play some games. Alright, so Rillaboom, Kingambit, Incineroar, Altaria, Hisuian Zoroark, and Gothitelle. Let's note the team here. Alright, so a couple annoying things. One is illusion, so I'm not gonna ever be sure that Amon is actually Amon without having a doubt that it's Hisuian Zoroark. That's kind of annoying. Gothitelle with Shadow Tag's also kind of annoying, prevents me from switching. Kingambit, it's weird because I feel like this team has a lot of Kingambit answers and I still have a tough time handling it. And then also Altaria is actually really interesting. It's something I've tested quite extensively for this format, but in the end wasn't able to make it work. Incineroar is really good here except for the Kingambit. Conkeldurr can also potentially sweep under Trick Room. So because of that, Sinistcha is interesting, but there is a lot of Sinistcha hate, and Incineroar is really good outside of Gambit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring perhaps this and Conkeldurr, because I don't think I can afford Gastrodon because I might terrestrialize the Porygon-Z. But if I bring Gastrodon in this matchup, I really need to terrestrialize Gastrodon so I can sit in front of Rillaboom. So it's weird bringing Conk to a matchup that I'm not bringing Trick Room to. There's a couple things though. They might set up Trick Room for me, A. And B, Conkeldurr is just pretty good offensively. I want to see if I can switch right away. We are going to get a special attack boost, which is nice. Altaria's Cloud 9, which I expected. Also, Natural Cure is a pretty good ability. So can I switch to Instant if I want? Yeah, so that definitely is Gothitelle. So let's run a calc real quick. Porygon-Z at +1 special attack versus this Gothitelle. Terra Ghost. Doesn't always KO, but with Helping Hand, it does. So I think we can make a pretty good turn 1 play of Terra Blast and Helping Hand. This also gets around Fake Out. They want to go for that. And this lets me switch. If they protect, I'll be a Ghost type, so I can switch next turn if I really want to. I don't want to target into... Well, we actually know it's Altaria because we saw Cloud 9. So I could have potentially gone for Ice Beam, I guess. They are going to Terra someone. Interesting. This is probably, yeah, that thing. Which is fine. I guess they felt pressured from Clefable. So I'm glad that I did not target that slot with the Terra Blast. Alright, there's the Helping Hand. I can't imagine this doesn't knock out. Yeah, there's the Fake Out. We get him. Oh, is this Parashong? Is this what this is? That's just gone. No Focus Sash to worry about. It is, but I don't think that helps them. Now that, especially now that Gothitelle's gone. There's no trap in play. I have a lot of offensive pressure, and if anything, they're encouraged to switch here. So I think this is a great start. Incineroar. Let's see if we intimidate. It does intimidate, so it confirms that it's not Hisuian Zoroark. I do want to switch though, because I don't think that What do I have in the back? Do you have ways to deal with Incineroar? Altaria is probably bulky. It's like 252. Let's run some calcs. Not helping hand. Yeah, I'm not like doing that much damage. So let's pivot Incineroar. I guess I'm just going to Moonblast this thing. I took my time there because I wasn't really sure what slot I wanted to Moonblast. Clefable's not doing a whole lot here. But I could see Altaria switching, and the main motivation for targeting Altaria was I didn't want that to happen, or for it to switch into King Gambit, and then for me to... There's a knockoff. Gonna get rid of my Assault Vest. Not really relevant unless Hisuian Zoroark's in the back. Just gonna get some chip damage down here. That's pretty good. I don't think that should be Assault Vest on the Incin, but we can probably check. That might be. That took it pretty well. That's probably not, though. I think I just probably low rolled. Okay, the biggest threat left is King Gambit. So I think I'm going to Flare Blitz and Moonblast. Is it worth helping handing? Maybe. Nope, I'm going to Moonblast. Because the biggest thing now is if King Gambit's in the back, not letting it give me too much trouble. So Flare Blitz into a water type. Okay, Rillaboom also works. I've staggered my speeds so that I am faster on Incineroar than I am on Clefable. I mean, knockoff's kind of annoying here, but this is totally fine. I think a really good start to the game, and we're looking like we're going to handle this one pretty easily. Obviously, Helping Hand's slightly worse here because I would have taken more recoil, so we just end up picking up with Moonblast, and this is getting close to completely over. So, noteworthy, their Incineroar is faster than mine. We confirm that because of grassy terrain. Altaria is going to come back out. I don't really need to worry about that. I think I can just U-turn very safely into Conkeldurr here. And I kind of wonder if the Altaria has any way to hurt me, really. Yeah, let's U-turn and Moonblast. Just check Calc real quick. I mean, they gotta be max HP at least, right? Porygon-Z. Okay, we don't want to time out because we're doing something stupid. Let me check this in a second. So I'll U-turn and I'll Moonblast. But if I had more time, I would calc to try to make this cleaner. Tailwind is kind of whatever. Nice support move, though. Just gonna keep knocking. Probably doesn't have a fire move. Yeah, we're definitely going Conk here no matter what, to get Flame Orb active. And I wonder if we can potentially put this in Mach Punch range so that we don't have to deal with Tailwind. Yes, we can. Unless it's Berry. Nope, it's not. Okay. We'll get a burn here, and then we can Mach Punch the Incin. I actually kind of forgot the Parashon was active, but that doesn't matter. So Mach Punch Thunderbolt, I think, wins the game. Actually, the defensive Terra type on Altaria is pretty annoying. PZ here. I'm gonna lock in the Thunderbolt. It's only an attack boost. Yeah, annoying. Think that I should be able to snipe the Incin here. Mach Punch is minimum 50%. So let's Mach Punch and then also Thunderbolt the Incin slot just in case we don't pick it up. Okay, nice. Conkeldurr's a beast. I think this probably seals it. That's some good damage. That's what we expected. And they have Draco for an attacking move. That makes sense. Kong dodges it, but honestly, that didn't matter anyway because we saw that we were faster under Tailwind. They're actually leftovers, and I think we could have just Thunderbolted here. Plus, they're never going to get through Kong no matter what. I don't really know what the best move here is. It just might be to, like... This game is over, but we just play it clean if we can. So Mach Punch does like a little bit. So I guess the best thing to do is to Mach Punch into Thunderbolts. This game, right? Probably just gonna forfeit, yeah. Alright, good game. Postmortem for that game. Don't have a whole lot to say. I guess the defining moment was their whole strategy really is based off of Perish Song. So the fact that I was able to got the tail out turn 1 and take away their trap probably ruined their whole strategy, and from that point on they were probably just at a disadvantage. But yeah, really cool team from my opponent. Let's grab another game. Okay, Dragapult, Rillaboom, Sneasler, Golden Go, Ursaluna, Blood Moon, and Volcarona. Pretty standard stuff. Let's note the team. Might be difficult for us to handle, to be completely honestly. Don't know if they're Grassy Seed, Sneasler, or if they're the Focus Sash variant. Could be either on this team. I lean towards it being Seed. But Focus Sash has been really popular, so you just don't know. Yeah, pretty standard stuff here. So alright, so thinking about this, they don't have Tailwinds, so that's one difference. So because of that, I actually think I'm down to do the same thing we did last game. If they had Tailwinds, I would approach this differently, but this is a bit of a different variant than the standard like Blood Moon Tailwind offense that we've been seeing sometimes, where it's just kind of, it's not balanced, it's still super offensive, but it's just super offensive without Tailwind, and they have like double fake out and stuff. It may be like a support Volcarona to try and slow things down. So, do I knock out Dragapult with any attack without the correct download boost? Yes, I knock it out with Ice Beam, but then I'm locked into Ice Beam, which is maybe not good. Volcarona. However, is going to be more of an issue. So let's Ice Beam and just Moonblast. I'm not really sure. Should I have Helping Handed? Yeah, I should have. Okay. Yeah, scary stuff. That's not good. I don't know if their Focus Sash, Helping Hand would have knocked it down. I have Incineroar on the back right, so that's obviously the switch here. Damn. Yeah, haven't played this one as well. At least if I had knocked it out, I could have forced something in. I mean, it's clearly just this and then this, but I don't love it. I don't want to switch into Conk too early. Double switch would have been a consideration, but I don't think it's correct here. So already not as good. We're gonna tank the... Get a little bit of damage. I guess all damage counts on this thing. There's the Phantom Force. It actually does a surprising amount. And there's this Quiver Dance, which is not good. So Dragapults usually don't carry Protect. The only good switch in for them is maybe Gold and Go. So I can Ice Beam pressure the slot for a knockout, and I can knock off, and if we knock out the Dragapult, that's good. And if we, and then the knockoff will be redirected into Volcarona, and if they switch into Gold and Go, then we hit them with a knockoff the following turn. Additionally, there's Fake Out pressure this turn, so they might feel pressured to protect the Volcarona, which would be good, and they do, which is excellent. So if Incineroar was a real clutch player, it'd actually pick up this knockout. It does, which is excellent. I potentially, if I was worried about not KOing there, should have gone for a Flare Blitz. But we didn't. So now I could obviously have a Clefable switch. I am pretty worried. Not gonna lie. I think I Ice Beam to break this thing's Focus Sash. And I go Clef. Even if they like predict this and go Dire Claw, I think this is good. I mean, hopefully we're knocking out the Sneasler with a 2-shot, I guess, is what I hope for. But this game definitely hasn't gone exactly as I would want it to go. They're gonna Terra something, which is fine. I know I could have Terra Ghosted my Porygon, but I don't really know if that's like completely necessary. Ice Beam comes out. Not quite a 2-shot, which sucks. I take some big damage there. Gets a special attack boost, which isn't too surprising. And just a Rock Slide. So I'm glad I didn't Terra Ghost there. We're definitely still in this. How much does Clefable do to Sneasler with Moonblast? Not enough. I guess we would put it in Mach Punch range. I think it's definitely Incineroar here. I am very worried, though, about this game. So Instant gonna come out. Drop an Intimidate off. I really have to, I'm under a lot of pressure, so I really need to get these upcoming turns right. Pulse in the back. Hopefully this works. I mean, I gotta try to make a play here to steal the game back. Okay, get the Sneasler protecting, that's good. It's also good. I'm unaware, so I tank actually. This is a helping hand Flare Blitz from Incineroar. If Coral does a lot of damage and does just KO the Volk, so that's exceptional. I do take a ton of recoil as a result. Not my cleanest game. Phantom Force, like Outrage, kind of Outrage, Dragon Darts, and like Terra Blast probably. Incineroar's knocking out with a Flare Blitz, so I think I always blitz into follow me. Perfect. Okay. Darts is super greedy there, but this should win me the game. Direct Claw comes out, it's gonna knock my Clefable, but as long as this Flare Blitz picks up, we win the game. I guess they'll have spread damage, but... Yeah, Sneasler gone. I definitely stole this game a bit because I messed up turn 1. So you're kind of seeing the difference when Porygon-Z is able to pick up a turn 1 knockout. It does really well, this team. But even just missing the knockout by a little bit can really change the dynamics of a game. Okay, so I ran a Conkeldurr's never dying to single Dragon Darts crit. So I do not need to risk them potentially not being choice banded. I think they're choice banded, which if that's true, oh, and I still have Terra available, so I just knock off. I can Terra Steel and knock off. So I think they're choice banded. So if that's truly true, the optimal play is just to knock off and wide guard with Conkeldurr. But I think one of the only ways I lose this game is if, like, I don't know, they have like some random coverage move, I wide guard, they knock out Incineroar, and then like they crit Conkeldurr and knock it out the next turn. But since Darts never kills Conkeldurr here, it might kill Incineroar, doesn't even. But even if it killed, like, this is never killing, so then we just revenge kill and it's okay. That game was a bit shakier than the first one, but we've still got the dub. And yeah, messed up turn 1 a bit. They were abandoned, by the way. Reflecting on this game, messed up turn 1 a bit by, I think, not helping hand. So I thought Ice Beam would KO without it, so I didn't helping hand, which was a bit greedy in retrospect. So if I helping hand Ice Beam, I get rid of the pull immediately. Then they probably bring in Golden Go because they know I'm Scarf, but I guess it's a weird position because in this game, we were able to bait the Dragapult switching and catch the Golden Go with a knockoff, which, by the way, maybe I should have Flare Blitzed. But we caught it with a knockoff, which resulted in us KOing it. Yeah, so, and if I knock out turn 1, I probably don't get that bait, and I'm locked into Ice Beam. I don't know, complicated game. Glad we were able to pull out, and let's grab another game. Okay, super cool team. Archaldon, Incineroar, Ludicolo, Mousehold, Pelipper, and Toxicroak. I've seen similar builds, but definitely not this exact one. So let's take note of the team here. So clear, like, Swift Swim stuff, whatever. I think Gastron's pretty important. The other thing to note here is they have offensive Mousehold. So against offensive Mousehold, I think one of my better answers is Sinistra. Sinistra does switch into water-type moves quite well, but it does have an Incineroar and a Pelipper to worry about. However, this Incineroar may not carry a fire move, so I think that's fine. So if I'm gonna bring Sinistra, which I think I am, then maybe I have to bring Conk, but the thing about Conk is it doesn't hit... Well, it's actually not bad offensively. I guess, like, if I do this, can I break through Toxicroak and Pelipper? And I think the answer is yes. So, the first 2 games we saw Porygon-Z and Clefable, so a bit more offensive of a mode. In this one, we're going to try to set up a mid-game Trick Room. and then sweep with the Conkeldurr. Now, notably, we're not leading with Sinistcha. I think that would be a bad lead. I think they'd be able to pressure it offensively pretty heavily from the get-go. So I don't love that. But Sinistcha could come at the right time. I also think we need to... Sure. Do hate this a little bit, not gonna lie. Clear Amulet, sure. Okay, so... Gastron, how much damage you doing to a... Frail Croak? Not enough. With fake outs, you would. So maybe I just fake out or power the Croak. I don't really want to touch Archaladon. I guess I could fake out Yawn as a mid-ground play. I like that. Really don't... This is a weird play. I could get punished for it. Just like that. But I really didn't want to give the Archaladon a stamina boost. So this kind of sucks a little bit right now. Yeah. Yeah, that turn one seemed weird, but like I could have obviously gone for fake out on another Chaldon, but then it's just doing more damage with body press the following turn, although maybe it was still correct. Well, let's make this play now. I guess U-turn might have been better, but I could see a close combat coming out. And also the fake out chip is helpful because I think it puts the Toxic Croak in range of Earth Power. Good play. Very good play. Not getting baited. Especially defensive. Ah, that crit might have mattered. Okay. That sucks. That's not good. I think this one might be an L. I definitely think that crit mattered. We can maybe run a damage calc after the game. But yeah. We're gonna have to see if we can steal the game again. Is it worth terastallizing right now? Don't actually know. Okay. Sure. That's pretty good, actually, for us. I also didn't get bait into Terrang. Not too concerned about that into either slot on AV. So I think we take this pretty well. Well, the Terra might have been nice there to resist the electric shot. Okay. I don't think I can win though. Yeah, I think I had the tools to win here, but I think this game just got away from me a little bit. The crit and Gastron going down made it definitely harder. Could run a calc here, but I don't think there's really any reason to. I think that this combination just needs to KO Pelipper, and if it doesn't, we definitely lose. So this is probably our Chaladon. I think they felt threatened by close combat. Yeah. What terror are you? Grass or something? Yeah. Which is really good terror for you to have here, unfortunately. I think I definitely lose because I lost my Gastrodon, which is one of my main ways of breaking through our Chaladons. And this also allows them to ignore Rage Cutter, so burn it maybe? Burn it would be good. I think the burn would have activated before, yeah. So there's an electric shot, probably into Conkeldurr, and I really wouldn't be surprised if it just KO'd. It might not KO, but it's gonna do a ton. Yeah. So we're gonna take an L here. I mean, this is free fake out into... I can honestly consider forfeiting this game. I don't have Protect on Conk. Fake out's free because always dying to burn next turn. Yeah, so let's do that. Well, we can just give it up here. No reason to continue. So this one does get away from us. I'm just taking a second to think about playing differently. I like my lead. The fake out play didn't work out, but I still don't think it was too bad. And then turn 2, I went Sinistra, and they didn't get baited into... Yeah, they honestly played super well. They didn't get baited into the close combat, into the Incineroar slot. So they actually recognized that dealing with Gastrodon is important. Clear Amulet was also a huge item. I expected Focus Sash on that, but Clear Amulet's honestly huge because that did more damage. The Dragon Pulse crit on Gastrodon may have mattered, but even if that didn't KO, I would have survived. I guess I would have yawned the Archaladon. It would have felt somewhat pressure. I can maybe switch into like Conk from there, and yeah, it's tough. Definitely tough, but there are definitely some things I could have done differently that would have given me more of a fighting chance, but that's okay. Let's grab another game. So going back and looking at damage calculations from that last game, a 36 EV modest special attack Archaladon with Dragon Pulse is doing a maximum of 64 damage to my custom set Gastrodon. We saw that my Gastrodon was at 72 HP, so we should have always lived. Now, we don't want to assume that they're just 36, but if we increase it to 252, it still only gives them a roll. Their max damage is 76. So it would give them a 37.5 chance to knock us out from that range, meaning the roll is still in our favor. I still think the game would have been pretty tough for us from that position, but getting crit there really was kind of the nail in the coffin. Thinking about it, though, I don't want to take anything away from the way my opponent played in that game. They did really make just great plays throughout the game, and oftentimes playing well gets you more opportunities to get good RNG. So kudos to them. Toxicroak is a really cool pick on that team, and hopefully I can learn from this game and be more prepared if I run into that matchup again. Okay, so Torkoal, Whimsicott, Dragonite, Garchomp, Incineroar, and Ursaluna Bloodmoon. Let's note the team real quick. Pretty standard stuff, but like Double Dragons is an archetype that has been running around after Baltimore regionals, but I think the only variation I see here is they have a Torkoal, which I don't think that was on the original team comp. I'm actually going to check real quick. And I also don't think they paired Double Dragons with Ursaluna. So it does make me think like Whimsicott, Trick Room, or maybe... Actually, I think probably the Torkoal is just an answer for Trick Room, if anything. Setting up Sunny Day doesn't really help them. They don't have a Typhlosion or anything. It's kind of like a mix of two builds. It's kind of weird. Ice Beam hits a lot here. So they do have Tailwind, which could be scary. But honestly, I like this lead with like an Incin, Gastrodon in the back. I can Terra Ghost pretty comfortably if I need to, and put on a lot of offensive pressure immediately. But also, they don't have a grass type. Well, they have Whimsicott, but Whimsicotts usually don't carry a grass move. So I don't feel as pressured to terrestrialize the Gastrodon. Incineroar's pretty good support. Maybe actually, looking at this team again, Sinistra's probably a better bring. It's just weird because they have 2 physical attackers, so I definitely want to bring Incin. And Incin's also switching to Torkoal. So maybe I messed this up. The other thing is, do they expect me to have Ice Beam here? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because even if like they're Terra Ground, they're not KOing me. The only thing that would KO me would be like Outrage. Let's say with a Life Orb maybe. Okay, let's Ice Beam. Follow me. Just covering for like Choice Banded Outrage maybe. Okay, they obviously did not expect Ice Beam. Trick Room? Moonblast. Okay. Obviously, that looks like a really good turn 1, but all things considering, I'm kind of wishing... They didn't expect me to be Scarf, that much is clear. All things considering... I'm actually still a bit worried. Because I still think they have some pressure, and I wish I had Moonblasted to get rid of the Whimsicott's potential Focus Sash. That was probably going to Porygon, so obviously hindsight's 2020. But I'm going to bank on the fact that they don't want to get Blood Moon redirected, so I think they're gonna go for like maybe Tailwind Hyper Voice. And at +1, because we got the download boost, Helping Hand, I should always live Terra Hyper Voice. If they don't go for Tailwind, I outspeed. There's Tailwind. I don't think they go for Blood Moon here. If they do, got me. Good job. Oh, I still outspeed. What? Okay, it's Assault Vest. You took that so well. That's supposed to just straight up KO. So it's Assault Vest. It's not Life Orb. I mean, obviously the freeze is fortunate. I don't know how that turn would have played out otherwise. That's Helping Hand +1 Ice Beam from a Porygon-Z. That has to be Assault Vest. So I think I double target the Whims here to knock it out. I think this is the opportunity to do this. I mean, yes, like, we got fortunate, but, okay, sure. Doesn't really matter. Let's knock this out. Another Sash. So I actually think they're still gonna move first. It has to be Assault Vest. There's no way. We can look at calcs after the game just to see, like, maybe they're bulky or something, but that took it so well. So I actually think they're Vacuum Wave. They have to be, right? So, do I want to Terra anything else? Nope. So I think I'm going to Terra because I think they're Vacuum Wave. Ice Beam and Helping Hand. And I don't know if this KOs. I think it's my best play because Gastrodon / Incineroar easily deals with Torkoal. So now I just need to get rid of the Blood Moon. We did take advantage of it being frozen last turn, but we already saw that Porygon-Z was faster, right? And we saw that their Blood Moon moved first last turn and again this turn. So even if they woken up, I'm positive they were going for Vacuum Wave. We don't KO there because of the attack boost. They're going to get a double knockout with Eruption. But that's... Oh, actually... Okay, so they're like Charcoal or something. I mean, they're not even Charcoal. That... I cannot believe that didn't knock out the guy here. So they're Assault Vests. So they're not Protect. So this is Instant for Fake Out. Then... This is all just like kind of trading equally now. We're gonna get the win here. Oops, definitely don't want to do that. One turn Tailwind, lots of turns of Sun left. But I mean, this should just be Fake Out. They are probably faster than Torkoal. Maybe not, but I don't see any reason not to protect here. They're probably, I feel like they're gonna forfeit this turn. Protects. Knocks out. If I was really greedy, I would have knocked off there to prove that they're Assault Vests. But, yeah. It's fine. This last turn Tailwind does like no damage. I don't know what that Torkoal is, but it is not Specs in it. I don't even think it's Charcoal. I think I'm just gonna knock here. There's no reason switching Gastrodon. I think it's like literally gonna be Helping Hand knockoff. See what item they are. So we know they're not Specs, they're Protect. It's fine. I can definitely maybe go for Protect this turn. They've already used Terra, but I also don't really see the benefit in going for Protect, so I'm just going to Helping Hand knock again. I won't even be surprised if it's like a Citrus Berry here or something like that. Like support Torkoal kind of thing, Eject Pack maybe, like Eject Pack Overheat kind of thing. Leftovers, sure. So you're not going to be getting that healing back. Cable survives. It's fine. Torkoal supports. My Incineroar. This is now no item Torkoal. And we're in the sun. Flare Blitz is doing more. I think I'm gonna Flare Blitz and Protect. It's optimal. This says minimum 36%, but that's calculating with the offensive Torkoal, and this Torkoal I think is built much more defensively. Although that looked like a... so I wouldn't be surprised if it did less damage, but yeah. Eruption, honestly, since they're like kind of defensive, Eruption might be like their only attacking move. I've run like... in regulation, what was it? F? I ran like a... Now, is it better to Helping Hand here? And I get 7 damage out of it? Or is it better to Moonblast? And I get 18. It's better to Moonblast. Okay. And Flare Blitz is higher damage. And Moonblast. Oh no, sorry. Knockoff's actually higher damage, but we don't want to time out, so. And I didn't even use Gastro on this game, you know. So they have Heat Wave. So I've run similar Torkoals before, and I guess we're gonna have to use Gastrodon, where I think I ran in Regulation F, I ran Eruption, I believe Flamethrower, Helping Hand, Protect. No, it was Eruption, Earth Power, Helping Hand, Protect. So we already calced that knockoff is more damage here. Just building good habits, checking board state, but yeah, it's knock. And this is why we weren't worried about the Torkoal, because Gastrodon could have always come out and beat it. I wonder if they're going to forfeit there. I thought they were going to play it out, because if they're going to forfeit there, what are they really expecting me to have in the back? Sinistra? Maybe they're hoping for a miracle? I guess. Alright, so reflecting on that last game, obviously the Porygon-Z Ursaluna Blood Moon interaction was super crucial to the outcome of the game. So my custom set Porygon-Z, Helping Hand, accounted for, +1 special attack, Ice Beam. I did overreact slightly during the game, as it's not a guaranteed knockout. It's 92 to 109%, giving it a 56.3% chance to OHKO. But regardless, it still should have been doing way more damage than it did. This is obviously Terra normal, by the way, because if you take the defensive Terra away, we just obliterate it. So the Ursaluna still took that attack extremely well. I do suspect it was the Assault Vest. I don't think this is just more bulk investment, as the standard sets already run 252 HP and 60 Spadef. So if we switch this to Assault Vest, our damage goes down between 62 and 73%, which I think is a lot more on par with what the Ursaluna took. It is really hard to say how much the freeze we got on the Ursaluna Blood Moon impacted the outcome of the game. I think it really depends on what move they were going for on the turn they got frozen. A Terra normal Hyper Voice from Ursaluna never knocks out our Porygon-Z. We can put the Life Orb back in the calc, and we see that Hyper Voice never picks us up here, even with Terra normal activated. And we saw that even though they were under Tailwind, our Choice Scarf Porygon-Z was outspeeding their Ursaluna. Given that, Ice Beam would be a 2-shot even on their Assault Vest variant. The following turn, we could safely follow me, presumably redirect like a Whimsicott Moonblast, and then knock out the Ursaluna. And we know that it would be guaranteed, since Ursaluna cannot protect in that position because of the Assault Vest. It is noteworthy they could recognize that my play is guaranteed and make a defensive play of Moonblast with Whimsicott and then switch Ursaluna into Torkoal. At that point, the game would probably just continue, because while they are retaining their resources, they're also stalling out their own Tailwind. The other option to consider is if they were actually clicking Blood Moon into Porygon-Z the turn they got frozen, then I do think the momentum of the game completely shifts and I might have trouble. They would knock out the Porygon there. We can see this clearly, that Blood Moon just obliterates us. And they would keep Ursaluna on the field in an offensive position, more importantly. Clicking Blood Moon, though, in that position does seem unlikely, considering Clefable has Follow Me pressure. But even so, in that position, I could lean on my Gastrodon a bit more and still have reasonable chances to navigate towards a winning endgame, I think. I do think my opponent played a pretty good game in this one, all things considered, but they were definitely a victim of closed team sheets. So they lost their Garchomp turn 1 with no return from it. Obviously, they weren't expecting Choice Scarf Ice Beam, right? So I think this matchup would be really interesting to play out, for example, in a best of 3, just to get a bit of a better idea of how the matchup would work. I've seen this kind of thing before. I actually forget the sets. Torkoal and DD Executor. It's gonna hurt my brain. I'm super gonna lose. I'm telling you guys right now. I don't know what to do. I don't want to play. I don't want to play this game anymore. Terrifier and Sinistra looks good, I guess. Maybe doesn't do any damage though. Terrifier Gastrodon also looks good in the end game. I honestly don't know. Alright, here's what I'm thinking, because I just don't know what to do. This. Gastrodon comes for sure, and we go Incin, and I just kind of wing it. And hope for the best. Actually, like... It's really weird, but I actually think Conk could be good here. I've seen these kind of builds before. I just haven't seen them for a while. They're usually kind of gimmicky, but they're also typically like somewhat strong, particularly in best of one, closed team sheet kind of thing. First can be like Focus Sash Endeavor, I think. Kind of things. I forget, like, it gets Follow Me. Interestingly, this looks like Expanding Force stuff, though. Could this possibly be Follow Me Trick Room? I mean, Ice Beam sniped Executor. I really don't know what to expect. I'm just gonna Ice Beam knock. U-turn's also interesting. But in case they Expanding Force, I want to stay in. We're gonna get a Terra immediately. Hopefully this is in D. But of course it's not. Fire. Are you booming? Maybe it's just a defensive Terra, but... This is gonna do a lot. Oh, it's so Rourke! Oh my god! I don't know what's happening this stream. Good thing I didn't Terra Blast. Okay, so do I just win now, maybe? It is over 50%. So Executor's in the back. They've used their Terra. They know I have Ice Beam. There's Egg. I think I actually preserved the Porygon. How good's Conkeldurr here? It's pretty fucking good. I think I give up Conk. Would... They're just gonna forfeit. Unbelievable. Okay. Quick game. Sure. I think that's probably a rental team that somebody saw look cool and picked up, but they didn't actually know how to use it. Because I actually definitely think it could have lost. I remember there was like a Furt team in a previous generation that did really well on ladder. And I think it was probably like inspired for there. Maybe we can look at that after the game and see what's up. All right, and even though that was a one-turn game, I still did want to take a look at the damage calculation since the game was funny and interesting. So this damage calculation on the Zoroark was always guaranteed. We got a special attack boost. Ice Beam just kill. This is kind of the downfall of using a Pokemon like Zoroark, while Illusion's really cool. And it actually does provide some pretty solid offensive pressure with 125 special attack for its base stat. It's just so frail. This Ice Beam isn't even a damage roll. It just drops. I did mention during the game that Sentret has been used before, and I looked it up, and it was on a Calyrex Ice Rider Trick Room team during Regulation G. I'm sure my opponent's team in this matchup drew some inspiration from that, but I'm actually not sure if it's a rental or not. If anyone does know, feel free to let me know in the comments. Very standard composition. Not in terms of Pokemon, but like I understand what the team does. Murkrow, Hisuian Typhlosion, Hisuian Samurott, Bombasnow, Ursaluna, and Indeedee. It's actually kind of scary. I think that definitely Instant Gastrodon makes a lot of sense. Let's lock that in, I think. It could be as simple as like Porygon Clef in the back. Clef's actually not bad here offensively. What am I terastallizing? I don't actually know. The only other thing here is, well, Clefable's nice. Don't take me wrong, but I just like, sometimes with Clefable you can get stuck in the end game doing nothing, and I wouldn't want that to happen. And I actually feel like Sinistcha could have some niche usages here. It seems weird because a lot, but I could use Sinistcha as like my terrestrialized target. I think I like that. Let's lock on the team here real quick. Okay. Alright, let's see what we got. Don't really know what my game plan is. I'm gonna have to just figure out their leads. So, good Intimidate on the Samurott. It's gonna frisk me, which makes sense on the ladder for closed team sheets, which is fine. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, they're either gonna switch out their Typhlosion or terrestrialize it. I'm pretty confident of that. They usually don't carry Protect. So I like you turning into that slot. I could honestly just Earth Power it as well. Yeah, I think both plays make some pretty good sense. And that should do a ton of damage. Samurott could definitely protect here, so let's keep that. So I'll U-turn. I know this doesn't make too much sense, but like... Oh, it goes for a ghost move. I didn't consider that, to be honest with you. Intimidate will survive. And this is kind of why I wanted to do this, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to U-turn with the Life Orb chip and the Earth Power and the U-turn chip. I probably end up KOing. I can go hard into Sinistcha, get that HP back on Gastrodon, potentially use it as an opportunity to terrestrialize, or switch back out to Incineroar. I'm not sure which one yet. But we'll probably pick up a knockout, so it probably depends on what they do. Yes, they got spikes up, but I'm not super concerned about that. Usually I don't think the, like, what am I trying to say? Like, using Hisuian's, oh, it actually survives, it's kind of annoying. So I think since it survived, I'm going to actually Terra Machagacha to knock it out, and how much would I do to the Samurott? Actually surprisingly bulky. Let's actually recover. Okay, so they're gonna preserve the Typhlosion, which isn't a bad play. Something's gonna take a Machagacha, which I'm not upset about. A Abomasnow, sure. So I wonder who they go into here with they're probably gonna Ceaseless Edge. And they could do it to either slot. I guess they would go Sinistcha, but I'm not really sure. Ah. So Encore me into what, Earth Power? I don't really think that's worth it. I miss, so no. I really want to hit the Samurott here. I don't really care about the Abomasnow. Nice, okay, that's fine. We'll recover up to full, heal off that spikes damage. I'm gonna Earth Power something. Ooh, that's a huge burn. And that's fine. It's actually better because the Earth Power into Samurott, yes, would have done more damage. However, it's like it would hammer me. Makes sense. I Thing is, I don't really want to knock out the Samurott, but I don't know what choice I have. Well. You know, do I need Gastron still? Alright, I don't love this, but let's go Incineroar. Part of me considered just, like, staying in with Gastron, giving it up. I do think there was consideration for that, but, like, it could be helpful to, like, I don't know, pressure an Ursaluna later in the end game or whatever. If I had, like, for example, Terra for who? That's great for me. I don't understand. That's terrific for me. I'm a Matcha Gotcha. Yeah, you, whatever. You crit me and still didn't do that much damage. I was gonna say I actually... So does this crit end up mattering? Might have. Clever, my friends. Clever. However, I think it's fine. Might not be so fine. Don't strictly need a special attack boost, but it would help a lot here based off the calcs I'm seeing. Okay, unlucky. Okay. Could be running speed investment on Abomasnow, so this is better. Is this Ursaluna? Great play. Giving up the Typhlosion I think is smart. Okay. My opponent, I definitely think, had some questionable plays, and they also anticipated that it potentially would have a coverage move, which I really thought Thunderbolt wasn't intuitive there. They're just gonna Blizzard, I understand. Could lose me the game. I can't complain about it because I froze the Ursaluna a couple games ago. But might really need a thaw, not gonna lie to you. I think this is an easy switch now though. Oh, I've already terrored. Oops. So I need to go into Gastron because I need to be able to switch moves. Oh, actually no. Wait, yeah, I do. And I think I just need as much damage as possible on Ursaluna. U-turn actually might be better. I need to unthaw no matter what, right? So maybe we do this. I really thought I was in command of this game, to be honest with you. Just like the freeze, obviously, I guess it could have been, oh right, that was stupid. That's not smart. Well, maybe it's fine. Do I get, like, knocked out here? What are they doing? Earthquaking? Earthquaking, I think, would be smart, actually. I mean, the only way I win here for sure is thawing out turn 1. There's no other way. So their Typhlosion is gone. So with a couple Intimidates, potentially I can beat the Ursaluna with Gastrodon. Yeah, unlucky. That doesn't KO though. Hold on. Let's see. No, I can't win, right? It's a weird game. I mean, Gastrodon's still alive. They definitely need a throw, though. Like, my thinking was if I had thawed there, knock out the thing. Let's say they go for my Gastrodon. I get a recover off first, I live or whatever. And then Thunderbolt immediately pressures the Bomb Snow next turn. But like they should always protect their Ursa here. Playing really well, not gonna lie. Protect or do that. But I think I had to make this play because it's a lot of damage. So on from me and recover, sure, whatever. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I have to go for recover. And then maybe I can knock out the guy here with like a crit. That has to be the win con. So I'm on court into everything, so I just lose, I think. Giga Drain. Actually survives. And I was slower anyway. Okay, GG's. I can forfeit safely now. Yeah, I think that honestly, we probably would have won if Porygon-Z doesn't get frozen. But I got a freeze for me earlier, so I can't complain too much about that. Because, yeah, like I said, I knock out Samurott, right? And then I immediately, even though I can't touch the Ursaluna, I'm immediately threatening the Abomasnow the following turn. And with Thunderbolt. And then I get rid of those, and then an Intimidator Ursaluna, I think I can stall out with Gastrodon, which is why we preserved it. So I actually think I wouldn't have maybe made a whole lot of changes in that game. It just be like that sometimes. Pelipper, Basculegion, Archaludon, Amoonguss, Incineroar, and Goldengo. I will lock in this team, but I believe I have theory crafted this exact team before. Let me in fact check. The only difference is there was a mouse hold instead of a Amoonguss, which actually makes it, not gonna lie, slightly more complicated. I'm gonna bring Sinistcha. Now let's just see what happens. Sinistcha's the last. I'm always going instant Gastrodon here, I think. And then, yeah. See what they lead with. That's very, very, very acceptable. Love this lead. Definitely gonna yawn the Archaludon, no questions asked. They don't have amazing knockoff switches. U-turn's somewhat tempting, but I don't love it. I think I just knock and I yawn. I don't exactly know what they were expecting me to lead, but I'm super okay with this lead. Like, the thing is, like, they have Incineroar, sure, and like, if they're safety goggles Incineroar, that's actually probably the switch. But it doesn't gain a lot. Okay, they're gonna switch Archaladon, which I didn't expect. So maybe this is like a defensive Terra on Golden Go then. But the thing about it is Golden Go, like, so greedy. Oh my god, you're so greedy. So greedy. Punish them, Incin. Metal Coat, sure. Yeah, like, that's cool and all. But the thing about it is, like, you're not really pressuring me offensively anyway. Like, what are you gonna do here? Like, Shadow Ball my Gastrodon? I am a especially defensive variant, so I'm not particularly worried. Again, they have no knockoff switches. And additionally, they probably feel pressure to switch because I just yawned them, so... Yeah, exactly. So what are you going to go into here? Your yawn switching is on the field. That's part of the problem. I think they just led really poorly into this. And maybe they were expecting something else, but yeah, there's the Shadow Ball. If this knocks out, we have a game. But yeah. Not even a step drop. This gets gone. We get a yawn into our Archaladon, which is big time. Great. Recovery will get us some leftovers here. I'm a little concerned about potentially Gastrodon going down next turn, but this has been a fantastic start. If their last one is Basca Legion, they're really in trouble, I think. So they bring in the Pelipper. Both their mons should be faster than me here. I think they should definitely go offense. I do need Gastrodon around, so unfortunately I do need to switch it out. I'm going to U-turn here. Hopefully they don't go for a water move. I think they probably feel some Storm Drain pressure. And then I'm going to go Sinistra. Porygon-Z will be helpful here to, I think, maybe clean up and get some late game KOs. So even though the synergy with Sinistra here, but not getting any leverage out of Hospitality isn't amazing. I could also be eating a Hurricane here, by the way. That's so fine. Yeah, they were going for the knockout, and Gastrodon's really important in this matchup, so... I guess okay, so this play makes some sense, because their Archaladon is faster than they were Pelipper. So, at first I thought Weather Ball was crazy, because Storm Drain, but they were probably banking knocking out my Sinistra, and then, or my Gastrodon, and then getting the Weather Ball off. I go PZ here, and I'm gonna run a Calc real quick. Okay. So that U-turn instead of Parting Shot on the AV Incineroar is actually really big here, because now I break a potential Focus Sash. Thunderbolt is not the play here. It's obviously quad super effective, but especially with the +1 special attack, I'm easily picking up the knockout here with Terra Blast. And their only switching to that is Basque Legion. I guess it could be Incin. So I'll just regular Terra Blast, and I'll go Gastrodon here. So we'll snipe the Pelipper. I was a bit worried about Tailwind, but I thought the chances of them going for Tailwind were a little unlikely. Terra Blast will KO here, 100%. This is the power of Porygon-Z. So you don't need to go for the super effective move. This gives me flexibility if their last one is Basque Legion. to Terra Blast that by Terastallizing Ghosts, and we should win. They cannot go for their water move, right? I think this is just a pin. They're not going to go for last respects into a normal Porygon. So I always just, I'm Scarf, but I can switch moves here. I Terra Blast. And I think I honestly recover. I mean, they could call me out here and just say like, hey, I'm so far behind. I could last respects your Porygon, hoping that you Terastallize. Good play. Wonder if there's a cleaner way to do this. Like, was it an instant? No, it definitely wasn't an instant. I mean, this play is fine, right? No more rains and no electro shots for you. I think this is good enough to win the game. I do acknowledge, like, I could have been a little bit better here. Probably. But, like, this seemed good enough. Oh, it was a crit. That's why I was like, that was so much damage. They wake up. I don't think it matters. They miss Draco. Probably would have KO'd. Let's see if this knockoff KOs. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't think I had a better play. Terra Blast on the Porygon, on the Pelipper was really good. Let's just think about that end game real quick. And then I obviously threatened the Terra Blast, which is super disguised. But the thing is, well, I guess they're always going to last respect Gastrodon, right? I could switch into Instant, but then if they water move, I think I could switch into Instant to secure the game. But then if they water move, then I just throw, right? So I'm like, I think I went for maybe like, looking back at it, like a mid-ground play, which I'm happy with. But I thought the end game should have been cleaner there. But regardless, let's